Good evening, everybody, and welcome along to the final round of ILR1's Inside Line Racing, the season finale here in Abu Dhabi, of course. This season has gone very, very quick, and it should be a cracking one. Obviously, the championship has been decided, but they're going to go all out. As you can tell, no Andy tonight. His PS4 decided to die, so pray for Andy's PS4 in the chat, everyone. But he will be back next season, hopefully, fingers crossed. But you got me filling in for Andy tonight. I am Jess, but do not worry. For the final time this season, we're joined by Gaming Alimondo in the ILR1 commentary box. Welcome along.
Good to team up with you finally, Jess. And I was going to say, I'm glad you said your name because I was thinking, wow, Andy, you sound really different tonight for some reason.
Yes, the balls may not have dropped properly enough, or maybe Andy gone to his teenage years. I don't know. But anyway, the noticeable thing we're seeing tonight is we had our current champion VSR Blizzard. It's not here tonight. Don't know why. But he's taken a well-deserved break. Well, he needs to, really, because he's won quite a lot of races this season. Just goes to show how dominant he is. So he definitely deserves a break. And another thing is we got one reserve driver in tonight. And it's like Chuckle Brothers, isn't it? I think it's you, it's me. It's you that's in the lobby tonight. So it's going to be quite confusing anyway. But that means we've got pretty much almost a full grid tonight, so it should be a cracking one.
Yes, well, you know, the Yas Marina circuit, been racing here since 2009. You know, it's got a reputation for having some good title deciders in real life. I think in particular 2010 and 2016, where, you know, Rosberg and Hamilton had their massive falling out, which caused Rosberg to retire after winning the championship. But no title decider here, sadly, Jess, tonight. But it should be a good exhibition race. I think ever since racing these games on this circuit, since 2016, I think this track makes a really good league racing circuit and usually much more exciting racing action than you get in real life.
Yes, and usually it is not known to be the final race of the session. Usually it's Brazil's. I think it started to be the final round, I think, during the hybrid era, I think, as well, so it should be quite interesting. Interesting strategies tonight, I think, for the drivers, as we've seen in pretty much all the tiers so far this week. There was mainly a one-stop, but a lot of people actually decided to do the two-stop as well. We got the hypers, we got the supers, and we got the ultras. And if people are doing the one-stop, they're most likely going to do the ultras to supers or supers to ultras. Or maybe they will do hypers, ultras, hypers, or ultras, ultras, hypers. So it's definitely going to bring some chaos, and if it's the race to do a two-stop strategy with no titles to contend with, I think this will be a good one, won't it, Mark?
I think so. Well, I think starting on the ultras and going on the supers is probably the best strategy in terms of combination tires, because the hypers, like a lot of the other tracks for the Hypersoft tires, they don't last particularly long here. Although, of course, the recent patch which adjusted the tire temperatures should make it a bit easier for the pad users, because the tire temps here were particularly dangerous before that patch for the pad users. So I think we'll see a bit more use of the hypers tonight, but they're still not a particularly durable tyre. So I think some of these early times on the hypers won't be representative of their true pace. So expect to see some ultra soft lap times towards the end of the session. Yeah,
so they start to basically go in to set their best lap times now, but I think it's mainly their banker ones, and then when it goes towards the end, that way we can see the true ones come through. As Kalik has just got pole at the moment. I think as far as I remember from the other tiers, I think we just seen 132s, 131s for the last time. So that is really, really quick from some of the guys as well. And these guys really want to go with a bang. And Louis already retired from the session. So I guess he's going for the back, or he might have a quali ban. I don't know about penalties for the last few races, but I don't know. But I wonder, due to the fact Blizzard is not in, maybe we will see we will see a seventh different winner maybe tonight, unless we see the likes of Cliffy or something like that win a race. I think I can't remember the last time Cliffy won a race, but I wonder, will we see a different winner tonight, or will we see one of the people who has won last time about in the season do it?
Well, I hope so. I mean, Cliffy definitely the best of the rest as far as this season goes, after a dominant campaign by Blizzard. I mean, Liquid Blocks has come really close in recent races to winning his first ILR1 race, particularly at Japan and last time out in Brazil. You know, just didn't have a particularly good second stint, and ultimately that and that's why Lambo got ahead of him. But you know, Lickert's been one of the best drivers in the second half of the season, so if anyone's going to get 7th win of the season, he would probably arguably be the most deserving of that accolade. But you know, we've had 14 different drivers on the podium this season, which is pretty high compared to the race win, so plenty have had some glory. You know, Matt Tebos, one of the drives of the season last week to get onto the podium in Brazil in particular, and the week before that we had Josh on the podium as well in P2 at Mexico, one of the best drives of the season there as well.
Yeah, Mexico was really fun to watch, I must say. I remember watching in the chat, and it was so nice to get people back on form as well. But last week, if you were watching last week, it was absolutely crazy with not many people finishing the race. It got quite chaotic at times. So hopefully this week we won't see that, and we will see most people finishing the race, as they really want to stay in ILR1 for next season, as Season 5 sign-ups for the current drivers are almost coming to a close. So if they get more DNFs than finishes, then that will decrease their chance in possibly staying in ILR1, and they may get demoted. But still, the top 2 tiers in ILR are still quite good anyway, so we should see some close racing nonetheless next season. And but we will most likely see the champion still there. Probably Cliffy will probably stay in ILR1 as well, and we might see some new faces as well. But some of these guys, this may be the last time we see them tonight in ILR1, but we'll find out in about 2 or 3 weeks if they stay there.
Yes, I think there's always some changes in between seasons, but you know, I hope we get, you know, most of the drivers stick around, but also I think some more drivers to challenge Blizzard, because you know the way Blizzard went about this season, every time he had a slight setback, he just came back so strongly. You know, in terms of consistency, no one could touch him this season. That's why Blizzard won the championship this season. You know, it wasn't the fact that he just won 10 wins, but even when he didn't win a race, he was finishing high up the order, and you know, the statistics back that. I mean, his average points this season, 17 points, average points across the whole season, not including this race course, and you know, a 50% win ratio from the 20 races he competed in, 70% ratio on the podium, and you know, also a quarter of the races on pole position, which really helped. So his average position in a qualifying session was 4th, and no one was anywhere near that. I mean, Cliffy was on 7th. So you know, the stats, everything just put to a brilliant season for Blizzard. You know, it's one of the best campaigns we've ever seen from the top tier of ILR on PS4. And it will take maybe a while before even Blizzard himself matches a campaign like that.
Yes, I agree, because if you remember last season, you probably do, and with the title being wrapped up in Abu Dhabi with Louis winning, and we thought no one was going to match that, but Blizzard actually won pretty much earlier than that. So it just goes to show that they can improve. I do believe Blizzard wasn't in ILR1 to begin with, was he not? I think he might have been in ILR2 last season. Or he might be new, I can't remember. Do you know? Yeah.
I'm not sure in terms of his sort of so-called junior career in Iowa, but I've been watching Blizzard in other leagues for some time, and you know, he showed real promise in F1 2017, but you know, in F1 2018 he's really come to the fore. He's been, you know, unbelievable really, not just this league but other ones in terms of top tiers. So you know, he's only going to get stronger from there if he, you know, can stay motivated, but he could easily, at least on this game, run up some multiple championships.
Yes, we can't wait to see him next season, and also next week he'll be racing in the prestigious Race of Champions, which is going to happen the same time as now, 5:30, with all the 6 tiers competing to see who is the best of the lot. And definitely the ILR1 guys really want to get that, you know. The 4 have been chosen to represent ILR1 really, and I think Blizzard obviously will be one of the favourites as well, but lots of other candidates. It's the top 4, I think, in ILR1 that go through to the Race of Champions next week, and so ILR2 as well. I think the rest of them is either the top 3 or the top 2, with a few reserves as well. So even though Blizzard is not there tonight, we're going to see some good races there. But we have got quite a few people that have already set lap times, as It's Me has gone P2 at the moment. We haven't seen anyone go into the 132s yet, and the fastest laps is on the Hyper Softs. So nobody has gone on the Ultras to set their fastest lap, apart from Bugatti with a good lap on the Ultras, with 9 tenths off the pace at this stage. But we have quite a few invalidated lap times. They really need to get it in to make sure they get their lap in before the checkered flag falls.
Yes, I think so. We've got plenty of time to go, just over 6.5 minutes of the session. And, you know, I think one of the good things about this league, everyone has scored a point now this season after recent rounds, so that's good. I mean, Bugatti was almost threatening to go an entire season without scoring, but then had some really good point scores in the low orders of top 10 in recent races. So I think some of the drivers, I think the particular, you know, Lewis W03, this is his last race as the reigning champion of ILR1, and he'll be particularly disappointed this season. He has missed a lot of races due to medical issues. But then he's also had some luck getting stuck in the pit lane at France, and then simply put in other races he just wasn't quick enough. So, you know, it's been a stop-start season for him, but hopefully next season he can have an uninterrupted campaign and really show what he can do, because, you know, on his day he's one of the quickest drivers in the whole league setup for sure.
Yes, maybe we can see some promise from Louis next season as he progresses through Season 5, and who knows, we may see people that we may not seen in the past do well in ILR1 make the huge step up in ILR1 next year. So really, if they do well in this race in Abu Dhabi, this will make a huge step up and huge momentum going into the opening round. We know the opening round is going to be in Australia, that's all we know, and the last round is in Brazil. We don't know all the other tracks, so all we know is Australia and Brazil are definitely going to be on there, which is nice, because Australia, I think without Australia really, there's no F1 calendar, and Brazil is usually good for final races anyway, but this is going to be the last time in Abu Dhabi for a while, so make it a good one. There's been some notable ILR final race battles, including, I think it was in Season 1 in ILR1, that proved to be quite interesting, with a good last lap battle there, with 3 cars actually, and also that we saw Andy claim his one and only win, I believe, as well. So who knows, we may see the same tonight, and I wonder if anyone has beaten Calic's time yet. No one's beaten Calic's lap time yet, so probably it's quite difficult than they thought, but maybe some people may just want to go on the hypers to bring it there, or they may want to go on the ultras. We'll just have to wait and see. It's going to be nail-biting last few minutes here as they get their last few laps in, Mark.
Yeah, so I can look in the pit lane, and they are starting to fit the ultra soft tyres. So I think, as I mentioned earlier, it's definitely going to be a lot of ultra soft runs. So, but you know, they put themselves under pressure here, Jess. You know, if they get their run wrong, it can be easy to invalidate here, especially in Sector 1 and at the 2 chicanes. Between turn 7 and 11, which is the main 2 DRS zones, of course. So if they get it wrong, they're going to be starting well down the order. But of course, with nothing really on the line this evening, it's going to be, you know, an exhibition field. You know, regardless of where they start, Jess, I think they're just going to be trying to have fun and getting a bit more bragging rights, especially for those in the top 4 who are racing here tonight before the Race of Champions next week.
Yes, I do. I am looking at the standings and trying to remember who Owen and Soup actually announced as ILR1's Race of Champions. But I do know Cliffy's in there as well. Cliffy is obviously in second in the championship. He's taken part in the Race of Champions, and I do believe Ickle Blocks is as well. I'm just trying to have a look to see who else is. I can't really remember who's in 4th in the championship. I can't remember. And I think Lambo's a reserve as well. So if any of those guys can't make it, Lambo will be filling in. But those top 4, they're really, the top 4 in the championship are very fast anyway. So I wish them the best of luck, and hopefully they do well. But do not forget ILR2 drivers as well. They're pretty quick as well. Like the ILR2 champion, Abby, is going to be in ILR1 next season. And he's looking to make a statement next week, isn't he?
Yes, absolutely. You know, the last race of a season, we've seen it before often, where a driver who hasn't challenged for the title suddenly wins the final race, and then the very next season they're up there challenging for the title, taking that confidence from this last race into the next campaign.
And that's what we've seen a few drivers done in the past from Abu Dhabi. They had a very good race in Abu Dhabi, then they had a very good race in Australia, so it gives their positive momentum up. And it's a 5-week break, 4-week break pretty much, as Ickle Block 1's ride into the pit lane as he goes out. Everyone is going out on a lap at the moment. As they got a 5-week break, it gives them a chance to actually practice for Australia, get some setups in, and because it's only 11 grid calendar, they don't have much to fight for, and if they make mistakes at the beginning of the season, it's definitely going to cost them more when there is a 21 race season with a break in between as well. We got a yellow flag in set to 3, but that's probably just someone slowing right down, as the clock is ticking. Hume is not out yet. No, he's out. I think Cliffy is out as well. So pretty much everyone is out there getting their last lap times in. And to be honest, they really got to get some clean air, really, because otherwise they are going to face some trouble. So it's going to be quite busy, and I think we could expect a pole time pretty much at the end of this qualifying session, like we've seen in previous ILR1 sessions.
Yeah, I completely agree. But there's actually more drivers out there on the hypersofts for the final part of the session than I expected. So if they're looking to do the one stop, they're going to have a long stint on the super soft tyres. But, you know, Liquor Blocks, as I mentioned earlier, he's come very close to winning races, and I think he's very keen to get on board. The Ferrari have actually split the strategy. Gran is out there on the Ultra Softs right now.
Yeah, so the Ferrari's playing very, very intriguing things there as well, as everyone is pretty much going on the Ultras for around about 9th downwards, see if they can improve on their lap time. Lambo and Leon haven't gone out yet either, so if they don't get a lap in, then it's their chance pretty much blown. And I'm just seeing who is on a lap now that we can follow, and you can take us on a lap if we can find one, but I don't think anyone's on. I think someone just going through sector 1 now. I am just trying to find someone if I can find. I think we've got Matt on a lap. Is there anyone else that you find that is better for you to talk through a lap, or?
Yes, absolutely. Matt Tebos has given some airtime.
Yeah, go for it. So over to you.
Well, of course, Sector 1, quite a roller coaster ride for the opening part of this circuit, and then heading through the end of Sector 1, he'll be dropping all the way down to first gear, slowest corner of the track here, and then building up the speed up through the gears and then into the first DRS zone here between turn 7 and 8, all the way up to well over 200 miles an hour, 337 kilometers an hour if you're on the metric measurement, of course, and then one of the heaviest braking zones on the track, all the way down to second gear into turn 8, and then trying not to take too much curb, otherwise it compromises your exit from turn 9. Then the second DRS zone here, there's a bit of traffic ahead, but shouldn't be affecting him at all. And then heading down to turn 11, another of the heavy braking zones here. This is where we'll see most of the overtaking action, you know, switching between the two DRS zones. And then through 11, 12, 13, very easy to cut the corner here. You may see some penalties picked up here during the race. Then turn 14, and then flat out turn 15 here, and then probably the hardest braking zone here. It's almost unsighted as you go into here, especially if you're in cockpit mode. 17 and 18, then underneath the spectacular hotel the Etihad there, which hopefully won't cause a copyright breach, which it usually does because the silly where they're set up. Then through turns 19, 20, and then trying to get a narrow line here, and then onto the power. And where will Matt Tebos end up on the hypersofts? He goes pole, the 133.081, but I think we'll get to that because Calic's about to cross the line on the hypers as well.
Yes, let's see what he gets in. Oh, 80 thousandths slower than his best time, but I think he improved quite a bit there, so that's close.
Wow. Matt Tebos, I think it's going to get pole. Unbelievable.
Wow. Has he got pole before?
I can't remember. He certainly hasn't got pole in this league this season. I don't know if overall, but that's incredible. What a lap from Matt Tebos. I'm glad we're on board for that, because that's quite a unique moment. But it looks like a lot of the other drivers, I'm looking at the race director, a lot of the other drivers got invalidation, so that's opened the door for Matt Tebos to snatch a bit of last round glory. May hurt him in the race being on the hypersofts, but brilliant lap nonetheless.
Absolutely fantastic. He just basically kept the car in control throughout the whole of the lap, and he was very committed throughout all of that, and looks like no one was going to touch him at that point. So I wonder if he's going to get a good run into turn 1, or is he going to let other people take the pressure on him? We'll just have to find out. He's not going to be used to starting pole, but he is, and what a race to do it on the final round of Season 4 of ILR1. He's got his moment of glory on the stream. We followed him on a lap, and he got pole. So he should be very pleased with that going into Season 5. And hopefully we'll have a good race today as we go through the standings then for qualifying. They're very close indeed. Very fast drivers. Matt and Calic set their fastest lap times on the Hypersoft tyres, as well as CC Brain in 3rd. It's Me in 4th. Gonan in 5th, who may actually manage to get a lap in 6th place. And we got Josh in 7th, Poe in 8th, Leon in 9th, Lambo rounds up your top 10. Then we got Bugatti, Ickle Blocks, Lawmans, It's You. And we got, I can't even pronounce this name, Retrex or something, I can't remember. Francis, Cliffy, Neo, and Louis, who Louis did not set a lap time there, but this is going to be a very close last race. I hope we'll be in for an exciting one, and hopefully one to remember in ILR history.
Yeah, Completely agree with that. But that, I said it in the chat, but that is along with CC Brain's victory at Silverstone, that is one of the shocks of the season for sure. I mean, sensational stuff from Matt Tebos out of nowhere. I mean, he had a podium at Brazil last week, but he's not a name I would have put into the hat for getting pole here at Abu Dhabi. So that may be one of the highlights of the season. But maybe hashtag Tebos title challenge next season. Who knows?
Yes, we are starting to think, actually, from each tier who is actually going to possibly challenge for the title, because we have some people moving up, some people moving down, and we've seen the likes of some people who have moved down sometimes claim their title in the one they moved down in. So maybe if one of the ones who do move down, maybe they have a bit more of a chance of claiming that title, and the ones that were challenging for the title in ILR1, maybe they have probably more of a chance to claim it if Blizzard has a bad one. But obviously Blizzard's not racing tonight, so more of a chance of a different winner this time about, as everyone is lining up and going for the formation lap, and it's likely going to be a 1-stop, possibly 2-stop for possibly on the hypers, maybe definitely 2-stop for the hypers soft guys, probably hypers 12 just to hypers for those guys. And the bottom lot looks like Bugatti's on the supers, we got Ickle Blocks and Normans on the ultras, we got from 14th down to Cliffy is on the supers, and we've got Neo and Louis on Neo on the ultras and Louis on the supers. So all three tyres used today, and since the top 4 are on the hypers, they're going to pit probably a few laps or 3 laps earlier than the ones on the ultra soft, so they're going to start to die pretty quickly. So we could see the likes of Gonanen gain position, maybe Josh as well perhaps. Or will the Hypersoft runners actually get their strategy right? We'll just have to find out as we are about to get underway here in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, so it's a very different grid, I think, because of the different tyre choices, but I think the Ultrasoft runners are going to be to watch out for. Gernan has come very close to winning races this season, and his main weakness really has been when we've had those changeable conditions, but no such problems here at Abu Dhabi. We will get no rain whatsoever here, you can be assured of that. So, if he can just avoid any contacts, he could be in prime position to win this race, because those Hypersoft runners, their tyres will be struggling very early on in this race within the first few laps.
Yes, it is interesting actually, because to be honest, I think the only other track that could be a 2-stop as well is possibly Mexico as well. We've seen in ILR that people done 2 stops quite well actually. So it's a shame that Abu Dhabi is not in the calendar next year, because the 2-stop would have been perfect, as we already seen a few people get disqualified already at the last race, typical that. But I wonder who's going to get it right, who's going to get the better jump off the line, and could we possibly see a different winner possibly? Could Matt get a win tonight? That will be a very good way to end his ILR1 season in, his ILR1 debut season. But as all the cars are going on the grid now, I'll let you take the start, Mark.
Yes, well, Matt Tebos Kalik, it's a very different front row here at the Yas Marina circuit. And here are the 5 red lights. Watch out for Matt Tebos Kalik. CC Brain just behind. Lights out, and away we go. Matt Tebos gets a decent start, but Kalik's getting even better start. Up pretty good. So CC Brain almost free wide into turn 1. CC Brain's going to try, and Matt Tebos already losing a place to Kalik. Oh, slight contact between the Haas and the Renault behind, but look at that. Crucially, Gernan already up to 4th on the ultra soft tyres.
Yes, already he's getting a very good start already, and I think we've got it's me that has gained quite a few positions as well, but Louis has dropped quite a few positions. But apart from that, Kalik has got the better jump from Matt. Maybe starting on pole may not be the best choice for these guys in Abu Dhabi. We'll just have to find out, as Humo's gaining some good ground on the rest of the field tonight. And I do believe It's Me in the Force India is trying to make a move. There's literally moves going everywhere tonight. It is absolutely crazy. Very, very tight going into the difficult second sector. It's one of the only tracks actually where it has 2 DRS straights in a row, so they're really going to be on their guard at the moment, but they're going to rely on slipstream at the moment, as we've seen a lot of change up front as well. Gone up into P3 at the moment, as It's Me tries to dive around the inside, couldn't quite make it on this occasion. Josh is also trying to make a move on CC Brain as well, so already some intense battles happening on this opening lap, but so far looks like they all made it clean.
Yeah, it was probably one of the cleanest start of the season. Well, anything would have been cleaner than the demolition derby we saw Interlagos last week. But yeah, Gran, perfect start from him, avoiding trouble, getting some great overtakes done, and he's in a great position. He now can just bide his time and get to the back of Matt Tebos and Kalik. So we're going to wait to the end of lap 2 for the DRS to be enabled, and that's where we'll see some real movement starting. Further down the order, there was quite a lot of argy-bargy in the midfield, but the two Mercedes making a few places. It's you making probably the worst start, dropping 5 places from the start, and now in P19.
Yeah, so not the best position he needs to be right now. He's lost quite a lot of positions, to be honest. But Louis actually gaining a position because of that. Neo now up into 16th. The positions are changing like crazy. I'm quite surprised that they're all managing to keep it together at the moment. It's absolutely amazing. And Nickel Blocks is now up into the points potentially, as he's going to get a run on VSR Lambo going into sector 2. Is he going to quite make it? Not on this occasion. He's probably looks like he's going to take the left-hand side. Lambo is going to try and cover it. It's going to be tight though. They're almost touching together, and luckily they didn't go off the circuit. And looks like Lambo is now up into P11 at the moment. So he got better work with that slipstream and done very well to retain that position, and as well. And Josh still closing up to CC Brain as well. Looks like Kalik has still managed to get onto the lead, and Poe has just got his 3-second time penalty already. So first one of the session now. We don't want that glory here in ILR, I must say. Cliffy's just lost another position as well, so he's having a trouble start as well. We got our first retirement of Francis. I didn't quite see what happened there, so that is an unfortunate way to end his ILR Season 4 career, but he'll be back for Season 5. But yeah, looks like Josh is on the challenge for CC Brain right now.
Yes, and Josh looking very much the top runners there will be starting to struggling now on lap 3. They'll be pitting within a few laps again, probably around 6-7 maybe at best. They have to stretch them out a little bit, otherwise even the one stop will be difficult for them to pull off. The Gonan's actually dropped off a little bit from the top 2, which is surprising. So good pace from Kalik and Matt Tebos still to keep it well ahead of Gonan. But DRS enabled now, but Gonan actually out of DRS range. And overall, Lawmans has just crashed it in Sector 1. Yeah, he's lost it massively just before the end of Sector 1 in the fast right-hander section. So that's 2 retirements. So Claire Williams shakes ahead. Both Williams out of the race. We haven't even completed the 3rd lap yet.
Yeah, it kind of reminds us of real life, really. We didn't really want that to happen, but could this be Josh's big opportunity to get CC Brain now, and pretty much a lot of the other guys who are 2 tenths behind each other get the move done as well? So this could be his big break at the moment. Not quite to do it on this occasion though. He's a little bit further back, but maybe. And Lawmans is not happy at all whatsoever. He's left the session, and hopefully he can come back. He was on the Ultra Softs as well, whereas Francis was on the set of the Super Soft tyres. So the Hypersoft runners are still managing to be alright, but Gonanen, the Ultra Soft runners in P3, I did say he was going to play an important part of this race, and I wasn't wrong. I'm going to see who's been the biggest gainers and biggest losers. The biggest gainer has got to be Neo, who started, I think, P18, and that is out all the way up into 14th. Out of the top guys, Gonanen's gained 2, and Josh has gained 2. But It's Me has dropped down 3 as well, as CC Brain has got a time penalty. That's going to play crucial if this battle stays like it is, Mark.
Yeah, absolutely, and as Gonan sets the fast lap of the race, I think he's starting to find good grip in those ultra soft tyres. As Matt Tebos still trying to put Kalik under pressure, but you know, they're in good position still, but they're still going to have to stretch out the stints a little bit. And just looking down the order, a bit of a mini train forming between Directrix in P13. He's now dropping well behind Lickle Blocks, 1.5 seconds now. So I think Neo and the likes of Cliffy and Lewis will be trying to get past him. Yeah, Neo getting very close to the back of the Mercedes right now, and up ahead Lambo trying to get past Bugatti for P10.
Yes, final points paying position. If you want to get points in the final race to make a mark in the next race.
Josh and Brain.
Josh and Brain as well, and also a battle for the points as well. We're going to follow this battle for CC Brain and Josh then, as they're going side by side into the first DRS straight. Looks like Josh gets a better run there, but can CC Brain try and hold on? No, we can't, as Josh is now retaining, well, gets up to P4. What a good move from the Force India driver. And whilst we were following Josh and CC Brain, looks like Lambo's made it way up to P10. Bugatti in 11th, and Nickel Blocks has dropped it down into P12. as well. So almighty battles happening in this last race. They want to give us a show all of a sudden, probably because they're not racing for 5 weeks and they want to have some fun, and that's definitely what they're doing right now. And Matt has really got to make some time up from his pulse. He didn't have the best of starts, but he's already about still 5/10 behind Caleb, but he's still got Gonanen behind him as well on the ultras, and we could see the hypers running out as well. So Josh, the big gainer there. CC Brain has got Yume up behind him as well, so he's got to do some. He's got to be under pressure there, surely.
It is June, by the way.
June,
probably
sorry,
easy to say it
June,
that way.
Sorry, I am rubbish at names.
No, that's all right. But Matt Sebos, coming out of the final corner, Kalik went on the power a little bit too early and nearly understeered into the barrier, but luckily got the car under control. But it's clear to me, you can see from their grip levels that they are really struggling on these hypersofts. Now, this is why Gonan is getting ever closer to the two in front. Josh is going to hopefully aim for Gonan to get stuck behind those two for a couple more laps at least, so he can at least get into DRS range of the Ferrari, because the battle for the net lead may well be between these two if Kalik and Matt can't make a one-stop work.
Yes, it's going to pretty much go towards the end of this race for the battle for the lead and possibly the final podium spot as well if they want to get their position. And it looks like CC Brain is under pressure again from, actually I think it's, yeah, it is Jim actually, as Jim gains a position from CC Brain and now up into 5th position. I got his name right actually. So CC Brain's tyres are starting to die by the looks of things. It's struggling more than the other Hypersoft runners, so he's probably going to have Poe, his teammate, not that far behind him either, as well, as I think Poe's on the alternate strategy compared to his teammates. So I wonder if CC Brain has made the right choice for actually going on to those Hypersoft tyres. So I don't think he has, as Juma's got a 3-second time penalty. All I've known in Abu Dhabi is the gamers, when they give penalties, is really, really harsh as well. So I think we may see a few penalties go into the stewards to get removed, because they could get penalties for the most stupidest of reasons. As we've got one of the first Hypersoft runners, it's me, into the pits for his first start going on to set the Ultras.
Oh, Ultrasoft, so that for me is a clear two-stop strategy from the Force India team, so he could be a good reference. He'll be able to undercut massively, at least on the Hypersoft runners, if he can get a good outlap. The field is very closely packed together. No one had a first lap wing change, so traffic will not be an issue for him. He's going to have to get those temperatures up to speed straight away, but the Ultrasoft is a really good race tyre here, so it doesn't take long to get it. Matt Tebos really close to Kalik now.
Yes, let's follow them, as he's going to see if he can try and dive it in. And I think two of the high Kalik and Matt went a little bit wide there. That was absolutely close. But look at the Ferrari behind as well. This could be the chance, if any of these guys make a mistake, to possibly go in the middle of the DRS straight and see if he can make the move. He's waiting to see if anyone is going to budge. Look like Kalik is not letting Matt through. So Kalik is still in the lead at the moment. Matt's got his first penalty. So that's pretty much gotten into more contention as the race goes on. Look at the speed Gonan is doing on the line as well. Lambo and Nickel Blocks has gained position as well, and that's what Gonan's doing. He's trying to gain a position from Matt Tebos, and he almost had it in there towards the start of the third sector. But
oh, contact!
Contact from who?
Yeah, June was hit by one of the Renaults. I think it may have been, I'm guessing Poe. I'm not entirely sure, but June got spun around at the hotel, so he's down to P15. And Kalik and Matt Tebos pit from the Hypersoft. Let's see what they go for. They went an extra lap, then it's me. So they're going to go for Super Softs to the end. Let's see.
Yes.
Ultra Softs for Kalik.
Yeah, and I'm just seeing what other people are. Pretty much everyone that is pitting are going on the set of the Ultra Soft tyres. I believe. So that is definitely going to be a two-stop. So can they read our minds or something, Mark? Because it really is happening. But meanwhile, there's a really big scrap for P9 and 8 as Neo has gained quite a few positions, and Louis is up in to good position as well. Lambo's doing the points as well. Oh, Doom is disconnected. So that...
Yeah, that's definitely a quit. No doubt about it.
Yep, it's probably his router or something like that, so that's not going to help him whatsoever. Or he's just had enough and wants to get this race over with. But that may not help him as the opening round of Season 5 goes on, as Neo and Louis are fighting for pretty much P8 on track. Louis manages to actually squeeze him into this tight chicane, and Louis is now up into P8, so he was having a very troubled race so far, and he's managing those super softs very well. Looks like he's going to be another person to go on to possibly the ultras towards the end. Well, it just depends when he pits as well, so we don't know what strategy he's going to go on as well. So very good move from them as well. But Neo is not giving up in terms of fighting for position with Lambo not that far behind, and Neo's not that far behind Louis either as well. And CC Brain's in the pits as well. I think he's the last Hypersoft runner to go into the pits. And Lambo, one of the ultra soft runners, is going to the
damage. I think Lambo has wing damage. Left hand side missing end place, I think. I'll just confirm what happens as he goes into the pit garage. And yeah, it looks like they've got a wing ready for him. So he's picked up some damage in those battles in the lower order of the top 10. So yeah, Red Bull, they're going to be the team to watch out for at the end of the race, because they're on the super soft tyres and they're in P6 and 7. They'll have to pit for the ultras surely towards the end of the race, but they will be among the quickest drivers on track in terms of those in the top 10. So at the moment, Gran leading from Josh, Poe further behind. So Lickleblocks trying to get past Leon now in the battle for P4.
Yes, and Lickleblocks has got DRS on Leon then as he goes on the left-hand side, and he easily gets that done there. But Leon was looking for the switch back, but that didn't quite work out. So Lickleblocks up into P4, Cliffy up into P9 as he goes past the other Mercedes driver as well. So at the moment we've got a Ferrari, then a Force India, then a Renault, then a Ferrari. So quite different cars in the top 10 already, as Leon has got his penalty as well. Penalties are coming through left, right and centre already in this last race. And we got Kalik, who has just made his way past Matt. I think Matt got the jump in the pit stop, but looks like Kalik has managed to get past him again. So Kalik now, I think, pretty much in the net lead of those Hypersoft runners at this stage. But Matt is going to have another chance going through to this final part of the set with the floodlights flashing in. That's my favourite part of the circuit, to be fair. And I wonder if these guys are going to be battling for the podium and see the two stoppers faster. We'll just have to find out. But they're still fighting quite closely. Leon and Bugatti are fighting well as well. So lots of battles to watch out for.
Yeah, it almost looked like Leon got nudged by... Oh, Leon's lost it and he's out. Oh, massive oversteered suddenly. The back end kicking out, and that's it. That is game over for Leon. Just before that, out of the final corner, he looked like he got nudged by Bugatti, or maybe he was already suffering from rear tyres problems, because just before he got oversteer in the final corner, and then first corner out of that on the pattern and gone. Unusual mistake from Leon. It's not something we typically see from him, so they have just pushed his Ultrasource a little bit too far. Now the two Red Bulls going into combat for P5. Yeah, and I think Lewis has just got past him. I think Bugatti just let him go.
Yep, and the two Mercedes are fighting as well, Cliffy and Redtrex as well, however you say his name. So the two Red Bulls, the two Mercedes are fighting, and it's me and it's you are probably going to be battling for position as well. But I think Bugatti and Louis are going to try and go for another move. Louis managing to pull away. They're getting a bit more straight line speed than Bugatti by the looks of things, and Cliffy has now dropped it. Redtrex is now up into P8, but he's got a time penalty for that, which is very unfortunate for now. So we're on lap 9 now. We are going to probably start the ultra stop runners really start to feel less grip on their tyres now, and they might have to pit soon. And Leon has just left the session. Neo's right behind the Red Bull drivers as well, so he can gain some very good speed if any of the two Red Bulls make mistakes, Mark.
Yes, it does have an end of season feel, but it's certainly been plenty of action so far. I really think the Red Bulls are the two drivers to look out for, especially Lewis. His pace in terms of his super softs is very similar to all the ultra soft runners ahead of him, who are, their tyres will be starting to fade. I think the likes of Kalik and Tebos will unfortunately be pitting again. So I think in terms of them winning this race, unless they get a safety car after everyone's ahead of them's pitted them, I can't see them winning. Although CC Brain, interestingly, is on the super soft, so he's going to try and stretch out a one stop. He went a few laps more than Matt Boss and It's Me, so he could still potentially be in a position for a podium, but he's not going to have much tyre performance at the end of the race.
Yeah, the super softs do. I think we'll probably start to run out about lap 27, 26. Yeah, Poe and Nickelblocks are trying to make a move into the next DRS straight then, as Nickelblocks is going to get the right hand side. Poe trying to cover him off on the left. I wonder who's got a better line here going into almost the start of set to 3. And it's Ickelblocks actually now up into P3 on track. So very good move from ILRGT. He manages his tyres a little bit more. And whilst we were watching that battle, Cliffy has gone past his teammate again and now up into P8 as well. As Matt Tebos is probably not going to get a win here, unfortunately, Mark, because he's got another 3-second time penalty. So he's got to be 6 or 9 seconds clear of the next rival if he really wants to get a podium, perhaps. As Golonen, the first of the ultra soft runners to pit. Josh is staying out, and so is ILRGT as well. So that is a bit earlier than I thought they was going to pit, but possibly I was expecting the ultras to pit in the next lap. But ILRGT, no, not ILRGT, and the guys on Golonen may prove us wrong and get those super softs to the end. Looks like he's doing a one-stop as well.
Yes, I mean, the way this race is playing out, Lewis, for me, he looks like he's in the prime position to win this race at the moment, because he's not far behind Poe and ILRGT on the ultra softs, and he's matching their pace on the super softs. So in theory, he'll be mighty fast when he pits for the ultra softs later on in this race. So you're going to see what Josh does. It's a bit early for the ultra softs for me. Ideally, you want to get 11 or 12 laps out of the ultra softs if you're starting on them. But of course, they were not fresh because of qualifying, so maybe all the battling they did early on put them out of it. Although Gonan was comfortably quicker, and Lewis has easily got past Poe. Poe had nothing to defend with, so Lewis up to P3. But going back to Gonan was comfortably quicker than Josh, so he will be ahead of Josh when he pits, unless he has a bad outlap.
Yeah, so we'll just have to wait and see about that, as I'm just looking at the gap between them, and yeah, Gonanen's going to be comfortably ahead of Josh anyways. The pit stops around about 20 to 25 seconds, as Lambo just got past It's You, and I had a few questions actually. I think It's You is in ILR5, I think, so another person who's gone all the way from ILR5 to ILR1, and I think looks
Josh
like
and Lickle in the pits, and Poe.
Yeah, everyone on I think the ultra soft runners are all going into the pits at the moment. Yes, they are. Apart from Kalik, who obviously he's pitted quite early. Doing obviously he was the one who started on the hypers and then went on to the ultras and then probably go on to the hypers once again. So Josh actually, where is Josh actually? Where is he gonna come out in terms of position? Gordon is already ahead of him. So
well ahead.
Well ahead by like around about, I think, probably about 5 or 4 seconds ahead of him now, and he's in P9 at the moment, so still a good position due to the fact that Josh is on newer tyres and he could possibly catch up, and It's Me's tyres will probably start to die down as well, so it's going to be quite close between these two as well. Cliffy is trying to make a move past Kalik, but it looks like Kalik made easy work done there, as he's up to pretty much take the lead pretty much in the next few laps. But don't forget, he will have to pit again, and he's still got to chase the super soft runners of the Red Bulls that are still yet to pit. We've got Cliffy and Red Trex also on the super soft strategy, as well as It's You as well. So we still got 4 people yet to pit on this very tight Grand Prix. I think Gonanen's got his first penalty, I believe. Is it his first penalty, Mark?
Yes, I believe so, and that could be costly later, because I think the margins for his battle against Lewis later on when he pits for the ultras could be quite narrow, so that could be really costly for him, because Lewis has no penalties at this point. And you know, if a safety car were to happen now and Lewis had a chance to pit, then you know Lewis would be heavy favourite to win the race. He's on the best strategy at the moment, and you know Matt Tebos and Kalik, you know they need a safety car to be in the chance of winning this race, because if they pit again, they're going to be down the lower orders top 10. 2-stop at the moment, clearly not the strategy to be on.
No, it has been faster in some tiers, but in ILR1, you've got to be the best. Oh, Retrex! Retrex has gone a bit wide and he's hit the wall. Looks like he's lost a bit of his front wing.
Yeah, he has.
That was
very dangerous corner, that one. So easy to go on the curbs and understeer towards the opposite barrier if you take a bit too much speed, and that's exactly what has happened. It's the most dangerous part of the track for sure, between turns 2 to 4. That fast right hand, and yeah, that's any chance of points gone for him.
Yes, and he was running so well with his teammate Cliffy as well. Cliffy giving him a little bit of a tow as well. So that was, what? 10-second time penalty. He must have made a massive corner cut. Maybe that will be investigated, I'm sure. But I think that's one of the highest penalties I've seen in the game in the world, to be honest, with the 10 seconds there. So hopefully he can recover, you know. We got June in 60th, but obviously he's out of the race anyway because he's left the game. So technically out of the runners at the moment. Red Trex is running last, and he's got another 10-second time penalty. He's struggling on a front wing. He will have to pit again, I believe, but I think he hasn't pitted at all, so it probably won't affect his strategy, but he probably will have to go to the one stop. And
I think he's going to retire the car. The way he's driving, I think he's going to go. I think Valtteri Retrex is about to retire the car, because you know that's the only reason you'd be driving like that. Try and get to the pit lane as quickly as possible, because you know it's ridiculous about penalties to pick up. Meanwhile, Kalik in P3, although he's on the wrong strategy, should give us some entertainment soon, and Matt Tebos, because they're both catching two guys who haven't pitted yet on the Super Softs.
Yep, the Ultra's starting to come into their own more than the Super Softs at the moment, but then it will come into a point where it will swap once Matt and Kalik will need to pit as well. And I've noticed the ones on the Super Softs are doing very well. And yeah, looks like, yeah, you were right, Mark, Retrex is out of the race, but looks like Kalik is going to challenge one of the Red Bulls for P2, and there was pretty much no fight by the looks of it, wasn't it, Mark? It looks like Kalik easily got it done, but there was a bit of touch between Bugatti and the other Red Bull there. That was close, I think, but Kalik's already pulling away to try and catch up to Louis now, who's only about 4 seconds down the road.
Matt trying to get past Cliffy. Cliffy putting up more of a fight than Bugatti did in that little exchange.
Yes, as Matt, is interestingly enough, takes our right-hand side line, and he does it. He's up into 4th place, and obviously with Cliffy pitting, and Cliffy's got a time penalty, I think the Super Soft runners are going to be like, right, it's time for us to pit, possibly go onto the Ultras in a few laps' time, and then see it through to the end, and do the one stop and see how much position you can gain in the race. And Cliffy really needs to get the momentum going, really, if he wants to get a good result, because it might carry over to the Race of Champions as well if he doesn't get a good result here. So even the other guys will have about 5 weeks to wait. He's got 1 more week to wait until he takes part. So he needs a good result here, and looks like he's in 5th at the moment, but he's going to drop down massive position. So he's got some time to make, and Cliffy, Louis, and Bugatti still staying out. So yeah, they will pit in the next few laps, I would imagine. Yes,
they'll be pitting around between lap 17 to 20 for the Ultra Softs. I mean, if they go on the Hyper Softs, that's suicidal strategy. That will never work. They won't get to the end of the race if they do that. So a few more laps for them, but you know, Lewis, by far the quickest of the 3 drivers, haven't pitted yet in terms of those Super Softs, and he'll have around. Well, if he pits now, as Itsu retires, if he pits now, he'll probably have around 8 seconds to make up, and that's not including the penalty if you take away from Gonan, because Gonan and Lewis, they appear to be the 2 drivers at the moment who are going to be fighting for this win at the end of the race.
Yeah, it's pretty much more than likely might be a new winner by the looks of things, as Cliffy's in 5th place, and Gonan, as I was saying, overtakes Cliffy. He's now up into, Gonan's now up into 5th, and Itsu has left the session. So pretty much the battle for the lead is pretty much going to change in terms of when they pit, when will be the best time, can they get those tyres to the end, and see if Louis can hang in there as well, and Louis could get his best result in a while, and that'll be very good going into a new season, knowing that you want to race in Abu Dhabi. That will just be a pricing on the cake, and will be possibly be the ones, as well as the champion, that will be a bit under pressure a little bit more, I think.
Yes, and it was a good move from Gonan in that, but you know, Josh has really been on the pace in the last few laps. He's now close within a few seconds of Gonan. Now he's got to get past Cliffy, which shouldn't be too difficult. He gets the move done, squeezes Cliffy a little bit, but you know, Josh is going to have much more grip than Cliffy at this stage. Cliffy will be thinking about pit stop fairly soon, perhaps not this lap, but the end of the next one.
And
but Josh definitely is playing himself into contention here. And so yellow's in sector 1, and oh, CC Brain off again, another victim of that fast.
And he's out.
Right-hander. Yeah, he's called it a day. He didn't actually get any damage, so but yeah, he had a decent qualifying session, but yeah, those Super Softs not working for him whatsoever. So it's getting like Brazil here.
Yeah, it is looking like Brazil at this rate. I probably jinxed it. I was hoping that since we got a clean start, it was hoping to be like the other races, and I think every race I've commentated on Josh, he's done not really well, I've noticed. So maybe I'm giving a few positive vibes to some of the drivers tonight that usually don't do well but are doing well, so they can thank me later. I'm only joking, really. Jinxes, I don't believe in jinxes anyway. As Matt Tebos actually is 6 tenths behind Gran in the Ferrari as well. So, but don't forget, Matt's still got 3 or more laps to go before he has to pit again. So even if he makes this move now, it may cost him a little bit of time. And I wonder if Matt is going to pit exactly the same time. Kalik pits in a bit earlier than the Supersoft runners actually. So that is going to probably play in contention to both Louis, Gonan, and maybe Bugatti. But Bugatti's going into the pits then, as I think Louis is going to pit pretty much a lap after Bugatti. I think, so obviously they don't share pit boxes, and I wonder what these guys will be going on.
Ultrasofts again.
Yep, so it looks...
It's a double Ultrasoft stop.
So it looks like it is Hypers, Ultras for Kalik, which is what it was predicted if it was going to be a 1-2...
Oh, massive crash for Lambo. Oh my, another huge crash at the fast right-hander. I just caught it. He was spinning already before he even hit the wall.
I only just caught that.
If there was a safety car right now, then Lewis and Gernan would be smiling massively, especially Lewis. But interestingly, Kalik has made the 2-stop to a degree work, because he actually managed to pit at the same time as Bugatti, so he's actually jumped up a position. So Kalik may still be an outsider for the podium here. Matt Tebos is a bit too far away, I think, for a podium. He's now 34 seconds behind the race leader.
Yes, he's got some making ground to do if he wants to get some very good points at this stage. But right now, Louis still in the lead, 6 seconds behind Godanen, but Louis is probably going to come out, I believe. Let me just check the leading. I think he's going to come out P7 or P8 on track. Now, this is going to be very crucial, I think, if he's going to be on new tyres. And as I was just saying, Louis is going into the pits. What good timing as he's the last person to pit, I believe. Yes, he is, as everyone else has pitted already that needed to, and he's going on a set of Ultrasofts. So he's doing the one stop.
Yep, well, we're entering a phase where, well, here comes Kalik. Now, this is going to be interesting. Will Lewis be able to get out ahead of Kalik? Because Kalik, don't forget, is on the 2-stop. This would be remarkable if Kalik's made this work. Well, it's going to be close between the two, I think.
Yep, I wonder if they're going to get the better run.
Oh, very close.
Very close indeed, as Louis is on the back of Kalik. I wonder if Louis' newer tyres is probably going to help him and gain more of an advantage, but Kalik managing to hold on as well. We've got Neo in the background as well, but he's on newer tyres. Don't forget though, Mark, Louis' tyres are a lot colder than Kalik, and Kalik has had a lap to get used to them, whereas Louis has just come on it. So maybe that's one disadvantage in a way, but Louis is going to get DRS then. Is he going to get Kalik on this occasion?
He's going for it.
He's going for it.
Oh, that's a superb overtake, but however, Kalik will be able to get the DRS this time to be able to come back at him.
I think Louis has got DRS as well, because he's in 1 second range of Neo as well. So.
Oh yes, well, smart move from Lewis. Now these two are going to be the quickest on track at this point. Bugatti, Cliffy, and Matt Tebos, I think they're out of the fight for the win here. So Gernan, he'll be praying that the likes of Neo and Poe can hold these guys up, because they're probably going to be, you know, perhaps up to 2 seconds a lap faster at this point.
And looks like, oh, I just noticed Neo out of nowhere has made it up into P5. So I think I saw it just at the corner of my eye for a minute there. But on the Supersofts, he's now going to be in huge contention and get his best result of the race. But Louis is going to challenge again. They're side by side going into the start-finish straight. Kalik possibly could live to his mistake from earlier and possibly take Neo. He could possibly take Lewis as well. This could be tight, as Neo has actually gone off the track. So that brings Kalik back into 6th now, catching up to Lewis again. It is going to be very, very tight between these 3 cars as they're aiming to get a win here in Abu Dhabi. And if Lewis gets a win in Abu Dhabi, that will be pretty much a record for him at this race, as he's looking for momentum going into the next race in 5 weeks' time. But Kalik is having his best performance all season by the looks of things, as he's producing some great battles that we've been seeing for all race long, and it's a bit of a shame we're going to miss it for these 5 weeks, isn't it?
Yes, this is, as I said way early on in the stream, Abu Dhabi tends to bring us better races than it does in real life. It's a really good league racing circuit. I think the 2 DRS zones keeps everyone close, but now it's crucial to see, can Lewis and Kalik really get on the pace and catch up to the top 4? Lewis is 11.8 seconds behind the leader, but don't forget Gonan has penalties as well, so Lewis actually doesn't have to regain all of that 11.8 seconds. So if he can at least get within 3 seconds Gonan and not pick up any penalties himself, he will win the race, having started way down the order. He retired early on in the session. He's gained 14 places from the start. That's more than anyone else on the track at this point.
Wow, 14 positions. That's probably the most I've seen out of any race in ILR in a while, actually. And that is very good. And to top it all off, he's got the fastest lap of the race on the set of Ultras. So he is definitely in good contention, like we said earlier on. He is definitely going to be on course to gain a podium here. And that will play very good on the cars as well. Not much battles happening at the moment, but we could see potentially ILRGT catching up to Josh in these next couple of laps, as they're both on the super softs, and Louis is now up to 1.5 seconds behind Poe. So this could be another challenge for Lewis to see if he can overtake Poe in this next lap. I think he could have the potential, you know, as he's only been on those tyres for a little bit, whereas Poe is going to get those the super softs to the end of the race. So very good call from Lewis, I think, this race so far.
Yes, I mean, I expected a combination of the super soft and ultra softs to be the best strategy, but you know, I just checked their previous laps. Lewis was 2.1 seconds faster than Gonan. Wow. Oh, and Post just spun it right in front of him and hit the wall. So what happened there? He just lit up the rear tyres and, yeah, just went off the track.
So that's
so, yeah, one less
carts for him to worry about then. For Lewis, he's up into P4 and potential P3 if penalties persist or something like that. But we'll just have to find out as well. But we got 7 laps to go. It's pretty much going to be a battle for the finish then to see who's going to get that race win. Everyone wants that race win in Abu Dhabi. If you get that race win in Abu Dhabi, then it's definitely going to help you, I must say. It's going to be tight, and I think we're down to pretty much, I think we're down to 10 drivers now, as it's me's left the session, Doom has left the session, and if they're racing now, they're going to potentially get points on their final league race in ILR. Don't forget, we also got ILR2 after this, so this is not the last race in ILR Season 4. You don't worry, you still got ILR2 next, so make sure you watch that at the end, as we've got Bugatti and the other Red Bull actually challenging Neo for P6 there on these Ultras. So could he do a replica to what Lewis has done the last few laps? He might do, as he takes the left-hand side into that DRS straight, and he does it with ease. Very nicely controlled from Bugatti up into P6. Could he challenge? Could he be another contender to catch Kalik? He might do, he might not, because they're on the same tyres, but it depends if Kalik will lose it, which I think Kalik is looking very promising at this moment in time. Now, Lewis is now 4.8 seconds behind ILRGT. I didn't see how many he was last lap. He's got to find a little bit more of a second. Poe just got a time penalty there. I don't think he's got that much damage due to that spun, so I think it was just a spin, and that was it. So, thank God that he didn't come worse out of that situation. He's still in the points, and he's still in the race.
Yes. Yeah, I think you're right. Poe, incredibly lucky not to get any damage hitting the walls as hard as he did. We saw less contact for some people early on in the race, and they lost their tyre. A few big crashes, especially in that opening Sector 1. Josh is actually getting on the pace a little bit on those older super softs. He's actually catching Gonan now. ILRGT has no penalties, unlike the two in front. So at the moment, ILRGT is actually in position to win the race here. But unfortunately, he's got a rampaging Lewis rapidly catching them at a rate of, it's just under 2 seconds faster than Lewis is doing than top 3.
Poe's out. I didn't see what happened there. It's probably because of that spin. His tyres were getting overheating. Because obviously when you have a spin, it does overheat your tyres, and he was on the set of supers. That is quite surprising though, but he's on it for quite a while, so what can you expect? But I think that is another commentator's curse, which I wish not to happen. So Poe, if you're watching this back, I am so sorry. I didn't mean to talk about you. I will shut up for
another penalty for Gunnan.
How many penalties has Josh got?
6 seconds now. Gunnan has 6 seconds. Josh is free. Lico has none. Lewis has none. But Gunnan, I think any chance he had of winning this race, it's just gone with that second penalty. So once again, Gunnan in a position to win a race, and he's just let it slip through his fingers.
I've seen this in other races where they were in charge of a win. They get a penalty in the last couple of laps, and then that's it. And it's a shame, actually, because usually we see the underdogs do that. They're on course for a win, then they get a penalty, and it's pretty much our hopes fading right there. Usually sometimes in some races, I like underdogs to win, and we are going to see an underdog winning tonight. Well, the underdogs are ILR1 anyway, so whatever happens, this is going to be very, very good. As the big runners of Francis, Leon, already DNF. We've already seen quite a few big heavy hitters retired, and also another heavy hitter, Cliffy, down in 8th place as well. So I think the only non-heavy hitter is Josh as well. So they got 6 seconds. It's a fight for the finish, but Ickelblocks is 2 seconds. Louis is 4.4 seconds clear of Gunnan, behind Gunnan. So this could be a podium.
This is a grandstand finish. It's a grandstand finish here. Lewis and Ickelblocks don't have penalties, so they're effectively fine for win. Josh now within DRS range of Gunnan now. Gunnan really dropping off the pace. Maybe that second penalty has sapped the confidence out of the Ferrari driver, but whatever happens, we're going to get a grandstand finish here to finish off the season with a thrilling race here at Abu Dhabi.
Yes, I'm glad I've decided to step in at short notice and commentate on this, because literally we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know how the penalties are going to change the running order, and this could be a fight for the finish for most of these guys as to who's going to get the point. And oh no, Neo's got a time penalty. He's got another one to add to his name as well. Josh is now 1 second behind Gunnan, and they pretty much got the same penalty. So position-wise for them two, even though they may not win this race, they're fighting to stay ahead of each other. So that's going to be one thing that's pretty much going to stay the same, as Josh is finding some incredible pace on him right now, as he's on 1 lap newer tyres compared to them as well. Look at Louis though, Mark. He's about 9/10 behind Ickelblocks. He is on a charge right now. This is going to get very, very nail-biting these last couple of laps. If you just joined us, you joined us at the right time, ready to watch the final few moments of ILR1 Season 4.
Yeah, Lewis has really shown today why he was the ILR1 champion last season. He's been on a mission, throwing the car through the corners on those ultra soft tyres in this second stint, and he's looked just supreme since going on those ultra softs. And now Ickelblocks though has proven this season to be one of the trickier customers to get past. Arguably this could be the trickier of the 3 drivers to get past if Lewis is going to win this race on track, at least before considering penalties. But Josh getting ever closer to Gunnan, right behind him as they go into the end of Sector 2. This is closing up dramatically here.
Yes, this is absolutely insane between these two. They want to finish ahead of each other. They want to win on track, even though they might not win on penalties, to get a bit of glory. At least they are pushing their super softs to the absolute limit. I pray to God that they don't get any punches after this race, but we know the supers do last for quite a long time, to around lap 17 anyway, or 17 laps I mean, so we know that it's going to work fine. But we got the ultra softs running behind that are doing well. Oh my God, look at Louis. He's in a fine talk as well, and look at Josh on Gunnan. The Ferrari drivers are both under pressure from the Force India and the Red Bull. I think Lewis is actually closer to Nickelbot. I keep calling Lewis Louis. I don't know why. I don't know really who to call him at the moment. But anyway, let's just concentrate on the battle on track. Looks like Louis is going to get him in the next couple of turns, potentially in the next DRS straight, I think, by the looks of things. A 4-way battle for the win on track. This is the closest I've seen in ILR1 in a while, actually. This is definitely going to be one for the history books, as Gunnan takes the defensive line from Josh by the looks of things. But can Lewis can go past Ickelblocks?
Lewis went really deep. Misjudges braking slightly. It's where he got stuck in the pits earlier actually, but he's finally retired the car. But here comes Josh trying to get past Gunnan. Battle for the lead is on.
It is on, even though you may not get it on track anyway. Louis still managing to fight for position again. He's now 5/10. Josh almost winning a little bit wide as well. They're still quite close together. So Louis is managing to get back as well. So that is good. He's recovered from his spin, but that's not going to give his tyre temps a lot of good, especially him on the ultra soft tyres. So if he wants to win this race, he's really got to push and make sure. But I think at the moment, looking at the gap between the leaders, it looks like potentially Louis could possibly win, as he's going to try and make a move on past ILRGT going into the start finish straight. But ILRGT, nice defending from ILRGT as he takes the left hand side line. He's going to try it again as well. Josh also right behind Gran as well. Oh no, ILRGT
penalty.
That is going to be costly for him. That is pretty much going to be a guaranteed third place or higher for Louis then, due to ILRGT's penalty. That's costed him massively. But I think it may have been a little bit harsh, to be fair, but I don't know as we go to the last few laps of this Grand Prix. I think this is the only battles we're seeing on track, as the rest of the field are pretty much, the gaps are quite long anyway, so that's why we are watching this, as Josh is right behind Gran, and then we got Louis still right behind ILRGT. This is nail biting. My heart is racing a million miles a minute. This is a good race to end season 4, I must say, on ILR1. A good race to remember.
Poor traction from ILRGT. Here comes the Lewis. Really poor traction out of the first chicane, the second chicane rather. Very defensive from Lewis. Here we go, down the inside.
Hopefully he won't make the same mistake.
Narrowly avoided to Force India.
Oh.
Has to back off. As Lewis has to back off. He knows he can't afford contact or wing damage now. But that was so close. Good defending from ILRGT in the end. But he can't afford to get bad traction like that again. As Josh again tries to get past Gran, who's under all sorts of pressure. Those super soft tyres are going to be really struggling now.
Yes, it is, and we got Louis behind on the ultras, but Gran, he must make sure he defends now, because he's got 2 more laps to do it now. As we're going on lap 27, you can see Josh going a little bit weavy a little bit of time, so you can tell he is struggling as well. And I think I noticed ILRGT struggling as well. So this is going to be ever so tight. It's pretty much, I won't be surprised on track if it's going to be a photo finish the way this is looking, all close together. This could be very, very intense for you guys to watch, and this could be good actually to persuade people to join ILR5 next season. So if you're liking these battles and want to get involved in battles like this yourself, sign up to ILR next season. Sign up for new drivers open tomorrow, and we are looking for new drivers, and who knows, you may be in ILR1 and be racing against the big guns. And as Josh is going to try and make a move on Gran for the lead, maybe not. Very tight entry into that corner, almost hitting ILRGT there. That was close. That was close.
Yeah, watch out for Lewis. Lewis was the only driver who didn't have a compromised exit out of that chicane, but because of the DRS of the 2 drivers ahead, he's not able to get really close. So he's going to wait again, try to go to the outside line, but no, I think if ILRGT was out of the DRS zone, I think Lewis would be able to get past, but he's just biding his time, playing for percentages at the moment, Lewis, just waiting for that opportunity, because I think those super softs may reach their breaking point, especially on Gran into the final lap of this race, final lap of the season.
Final lap of ILR1, final lap for some of these guys to make their mark before the 5-week season break, before the new season begins for ILR1. New drivers may go into the mix, and we will see most of these drivers race again. I'm looking forward to next season and seeing if the battles are as good as this. We're on the final lap of this Grand Prix. Lewis on penalties, due to the fact that he's got none and everyone around him has got at least 6 seconds. He is still in contention. No, I think ILRGT's on 3 seconds. So and ILRGT and Lewis is challenging for position again. This is very, very tight. There's literally no room for error for Louis right now on these final laps. He can't afford to get any penalty. If he keeps it clean on these last couple of corners and last couple of sectors, he wins this race. And it'll know much how it will mean to him, and it will remind to us why he is an ILR champion of season 3 a season ago. And we do remember how good that race was, where he had a very good result, and that clinched the ILR1 world title last season. And he is...
Poor exit from Josh, and he's not able to go defensive. ILRGT's going to have a chance here to get ahead at least for P2.
And look at Lewis, actually. Lewis is joining in the party as well. He's looking to make a mistake as ILRGT has almost gone wide. They almost made contact.
Oh my God! Overtake.
He's going to make it. Oh my word! He has made a very good overtake up into P2. One of the best overtakes I've seen in a long time from this guy. As that is a very good move, and it's pretty much
contact behind Josh off the track. Now Liquid's trying to get around the outside of Lewis in the final corner. That's allowing Gran to gallop away and win on track.
Wow, this is very, very intense. So Gran is going to cross the line and take the win on track then, but he's got penalties. He's celebrating anyway. Lewis is going to come across the line. He wins the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. What a final lap. What a move. He got second on track. He has won the race. Mark, you did call it that he was going to possibly win this race today, and you were right. As Josh is in P4, ILRGT's P3. So pretty much the order, apart from Lewis switching around to take the win, I don't think it's changed pretty much. So Golan's taking P2, ILRGT's taking P3 with Josh in P4. That was a little bit of a mistake from VSR Josh there. That was crazy, and I have to say, if I agree, one of the best ILR1 races of the season.
Yes, certainly the final stint, but Lewis winning the race. He's done a Cliffy from the back of the grid. He has won this race at Abu Dhabi with the perfect strategy and a monster of a second stint on those ultra softs. Absolutely fantastic. And that's even though he's not going to be champion anymore, he ends his reign as the IL1 champion in the best possible way.
And he's a Brendan Lee as well. That is interesting there. But very glad he's got the win here today, and he's ended it in style. Only one out of the finishers to not gain a penalty there. So very deserving winner. Golan takes P2. Still a very good result for him. ILRGT in P3. VSR Josh in P4. Kalik in P5. Bugatti in P6. Cliffy in P7. Neo in P8. Matt in P9. And that's your last finisher, as your non-finishers tonight are Doom, Poe, Lambo, it's me, CC Brain, it's you, Redtrex, Leon, Lawmans, and Francis. Francis retired quite early on, and so did Lawmans as well. I feel so bad that Andy missed this, and it was a very good race to wrap up the ILR1 season. It is now over for these ILR1 guys, so yeah, very intense.
Yeah, a brilliant race to end the season. There's been some great races this season. You know, I particularly remember Cliffy's victories at Monza and Monaco from the back of the grids. You know, the nail-biting finish at Baku, yes, right to the line. But you know, that was a spectacular race to end the season. And you know, Lewis with, you know, after some of the luck he's had this season, and you know, having to miss races through medical problems, you know, a stunning drive from the now former champion to win from the back of the grid here at Abu Dhabi. So he can be very proud of his drive there. Great stuff. And you know, if he can have a full season next season and keep driving like that, then he can certainly give Blizzard something to worry about if indeed he carries on the IL1. But yeah, a real pleasure to watch that race, and you know, it was pretty clean. I mean, there were a couple of bumps in that final lap, but pretty clean race, so that was pleasing to see from what I saw.
Yes, I think my favourite ILR1 race to watch from a spectator perspective on the chat was definitely Italy when Cliffy was taking that win, because I was cheering for VSR guys, to be fair, because I was on the VSR team. But at that moment, I really wanted Cliffy to win that race due to the fact that he was the underdog. He did came in last place and he did it, so that's one of my favourites. But that wraps up Season 4 in ILR1. So thank you guys so much for watching. We got ILR2 coming up next, so don't worry, Season 4 is not over. So in around about 10 minutes time, make sure you do check out that. After that will be the Race of Champions next week at 5:30. We do have the lineup of who's racing in now. I'll just go quickly before we have to go. So in the ILR1 drivers, obviously we've got the champion Blizzard, we got Cliffy, we got ILRGT, and we've got Lambo who's racing in that. In ILR2 we've got Abby, the ILR2 champion, Zena Mercedes, ILR Shadow and Wiselake. In ILR3 we have Konzo, Tough to Handle, our ILR3 champion Spaghetti Chips and Zenki. In ILR4 we have Mr. Skyzy, Ritson and our ILR4 champion Chill Drive. In ILR5 we've got Kim MJJ, that is Jamie, we've got Shapalili, and we got our ILR5 champion Carriage. And for ILR6 we got 2 drivers, Dan's car, our ILR6 champion, and Antatak. And I have got the grid order for the Racer Champions, actually. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say this, actually, so I will keep it quiet till the end to who's starting where. But what I've seen, it's going to be quite intense as well. So make sure we join in. And thank you so much, Mark, for letting me stand in for Andy tonight. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, no problem. Great job as always, Jess. I just want to say this is my last ILR1 race tonight because I'm switching to a different day. So I just want to say a big thank you to Andy. Real pleasure to work with you all season if you're listening to this. Definitely one of the best comms I've worked with over the course of a season. So I'm going to miss that sort of chemistry that we definitely have. And best of luck to the ILR1 drivers for next season and the seasons to come.
Yes.
So not sure what I'm doing next in ILR, but I'll have a think about it during the break, and then hopefully you will see me around again.
You'll see. Well, we will keep an eye on Twitter as well, and I will inform you who's actually going to be commentating for ILR1. Andy, luckily, is still back, but we're still keeping consistency with ILR, actually. James, also known as Diablo, got a PS4 recently, and he said to ILR that he wanted to commentate on PS4 as well, on ILR1, and they said yes, so you will get the same commentators for ILR Xbox, for ILR1, and for ILR PS4 as well for ILR1. So James will be your new commentator, replacing Gaming Animonda, but on behalf of all the people in ILR1, you and Andy have been a really good pairing, and thank you so much for commentating. We are going to miss you in the commentary box in ILR1, but hopefully James could fill your shoes quite nicely there. And I think we're going to wrap up the stream, so I know you have to go. So thank you for watching. We will see you in around about 10 minutes for ILR2. Owen Wyatt is solo commentating tonight on his own, so he can't make it, unfortunately. But be there or be square. Have a good evening, everyone.